Good morning, everybody. Today's video is gonna be hopefully it comes out good, and hope everybody reflects correctly and by true intentions. So everybody knows I grew up in the Ramona Garden projects. My familia used to live in the projects. We're from Michoacán, Jalisco, everybody, and some of us grew up in the Maravilla projects. And some of us outgrew the projects. They grew up in neighborhoods like Mazard, Maravilla, from Clara Street, Junior Mafia, and so on, everybody. And we always got along as familia. We always grew up tight, respecting one another and not causing a lot of conflict. Well, more or less the story I'm gonna try to reflect on. In reality, is my tío Jojo. My Uncle Jojo used to go in and out of prison all the time. He did like 2 long terms, and we always. I remember my grandma, my mom, Berta, and the whole familia. I'm talking about all the generations, you know. We used to look forward to seeing Jojo. He had the dollar games. Yeah, we could take his money away. He always had quarters, and he always hooked us up to go to Tiendita, to Nico's, and he always had the bikes. And, he was always gambling and everything, and he had dollars, and he never hesitated to give us money. You know, he always took care of us. And now that I was watching the movie Took the Road, and the play that we went right there to Elac to go watch it, I'm reflecting on Jojo, you know. And I used to admire him and respect him. I still do, everybody, even though he's in heaven already. But every time he came out, he always bought gifts to Sandra and to all of us. He gave us a big ass boom box. My parents started Tracy Dinettes, everybody knows. And Jojo used to come in the projects, and the whole project, all the neighborhood used to like look forward to seeing Jojo, and they used to call him Mingo, you know, like Mingo is, Mingo, you know. And everybody, as soon as he came out, he always talk about negocios and business, you know, thinking how to come up. In jail, he used to have it all tiendita and everything, you know. We used to go visit him right here to the old county jail. We used to spend lines and hours and just to get on the phone and talk to him and telling him that when he's gonna get out. You know, it's been a long time, and my mom don't wanna fucking give us money sometimes, and Jojo will always like, hey, I'm gonna write a little book and I'll tell your mom to give you guys Domingo, you know? So those are the words that I always remember Jojo growing up, Domingo, because we used to look forward going to my grandma's house just for Domingo, you know? And there was a time that Jojo was Jojo, you know? And he was a tutor, he was a gangster, you know? He used to run the neighborhood. That's what Trusty, rest in peace, my hermano, and Big George, Olga, and all that. They were our next door neighbors. And Jojo always had his Stacy Adams, his Imperials, his chalecos, and fucking looking good, you know? And everybody grows up like this. Our tios, our cousins, our family members, they go in and out of jail. We always get ourselves in a jam. We always do some pendejadas, or we're slanging, or we're trying to make it higher than we could sometimes expect us to be, you know? So I made a promise. I made a promise to myself that I was going to end up like that. And I guess I broke my promises in several ways, right, everybody? And one way was I was looking forward to becoming, I wanted to be a carnal, I want to be a soldier, I want to be fucking how to act, how to react, how to not be chavalas, how to, not be chismosos and conduct themselves and, you know. So I used to get harassed by the Jodas left and right. When I was gonna be 18, back in the days, if you didn't want to go to jail, if you did a crime, you went to the military. If you didn't go to the military, you became a gangster. You did 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, you know? And I was preparing myself. I was juiced up and pumped up. I knew how to have white socks, white Stanford shirts. I always have them on you. I always have white boxers, because that's the only thing that you could take in your personal stuff, jail to jail, state, federal, or whatever, you know. So you always have to have ropa, you know. Always have to have clean ropa, and I always like to cheat up, just in case you got caught up and, went on a pinta or county jail or to the glass house or whatever. And because I used to always tell Jojo, how come we always wear white shirts, white shoes, and we get busted, you know? And I used to always have white shirts creased up. I used to even crease my boxes, everybody. I had like fucking knee socks, white socks. No color, no nada, but it could be like neutral colors, everything. I used to wear my Cortez, white Cortez, because those are the only ones you could take to all the counties, White. White was a neutral color. From Sureño to Norteño, from everything. From county to Pelican Bay, to Tehachapi, to West Side, you know what I mean? To upstate, and we all wanted somebody to look G'd up, We had the hula, we had the juice, we had the power, we had the mentality. We conducted ourselves in various ways, And we learned how to throw putazos. We used to get chains, knives, we used to get fileros, like bang, bang, you know what I mean? And we knew how to stab and poke people, and we learned how to break noses and pitching lazos and not pitching cry, not sitting there and act like a little chavala, And we learned how to not snitch and how to stand up to and conduct yourself responsible, So every time I was doing cagapalo stuff, every time I was doing that, I always reflected on Jojo, and I always reflected on my familia there. We were fucking down. We were fucking amazing, everybody. Well, something along the way, must have been like 15 years old, and Sandra met a sniper, Anthony, and he was from Florencia 13, from the gangsters, and he's Toñita's and Toñito's father. The vato had estilo, ropa. We used to go fucking rollerblading over there in Covina, and we used to use the bucket to roam around everywhere on it. Well, Anthony and them, they grew up in foster child homes and dysfunctional lifestyle, And he had carnales and he had his grandma and everything. They were all gangsters, and they didn't know each other. Mexico and all them. They didn't really know each other, but once they met up, blood speaks louder than anything. They united, and they try to help each other and be there for each other. Well, they used to be right there off on Gage on Victory Outreach, Grace Chapel. And they used to all click up, and we used to go once a year to the mother church. They used to hold it in different ways. Sometimes in Norwalk, Hacienda Heights. We used to go all over. They had the mother church that all churches used to go there. And it was a gang-infested audience, persons, And I remember everybody had their, the ropa, and they used to stand up with their neighborhoods and the chingones, you know. The time that my primo, rest in peace, Jaime, got killed and George got paralyzed. My primo, Pancho, he used to be the thug, you know. The time my primo was Luis, Sergio, Jojo, Miguel, you know, we were like los chingones, you know. We were like top of our line, you know. And I had nothing but love for my familia, and I respected them that much. And I used to hang out with the gangsters, you know, Florencia, because of Anthony. We had the Black Cortez with the White Stripes. We had the Connie Friscos with Ben Davis. We had the Charlie Brown shirts. We had the bongos. We had it going on. Our buckles, we had letters, you know, those army buckles, and our shirts had to be Stanford white. No fucking manchas, no nada. Straight to the line, baby. You know, we used to starch them up every morning. We used to starch our boxers, and we used to look fucking chingón, you know what I mean? Well, Anthony and them, their grandma, their mom, and their sister Mickey and all that, I in reality started going with them to church, because I was in love with Mickey, you know? Mickey was fine, juicy girl, you know. And, I used to admire my Uncle Miguel. Any women he had them for himself. And I guess that's the way I grew up, everybody. Well, my familia used to in and out, used to slang, had credit cards, the cell phones, chip everything. You know what I mean? We used to have G-rides. We had sounds, we had the viejas, we had everything. We had the estilo, we had the dudes. Just going in, throwing putazo. We had artists, we had graffiti vatos. We put up our names way up. And so I started hanging around with Anthony and Sandra. And me and Sandra have done a lot in life. We got pulled over the first time, me, her, and Rachel, Bertha's car. Stuff like that. We used to always go rollerblading and hang out with each other. Hang out at my grandma's, playing the Dollar Tree, and hanging out on the projects, getting all the stories from like Cobra, Israel, Giant, Luke, and on and on and on and on and on. And I grew up with Naño Luna. Everybody knows the S-Man. I don't like saying his name. And all the stories of my primo Bird and Pancho for the Junior Mafia. And all the stories from all the Clara Street battles that we had with BG and all that. Well, I started hanging around with Sandra and Anthony. They used to go to Victory Outreach, the little church that we used to go to. And I guess the family was trying to change. Back in the days, Lalo wasn't a pastor. We didn't have God in our soul. My mom was the only one, you know. And I used to see my grandma always praying for all of us. My great grandma Mickey and Abuelita Lola, Tia Berta's, both of them, always worried for us. And every time Jojo would get busted, the gossip, malas noticias always spread around fast. And we used to just hope that he was okay and go to the old county jail and go visit him. Or right here off on Eastern, we used to también the other county jail. Then they turned it into a women's jail, and then I don't know what it is now. Well, I remember every weekend. And so I started hanging around with Sandra and Anthony and them, Conejo, and they were on to the Victory Outreach. Everybody carried their Bibles, but looking gangster, you know? Florencia used to be deep, man. They used to be big. And they used to play the Tucaro. And we used to go to, the first time we went was in Elac. También en Rio Hondo. But in Elac, they did a big play. They'll come in with Bomba 68s, Impalas, fucking hydraulics, and just trompos, clamazos, with shotguns, with 45, 380s, you know, a 38, you know, loud ass plomazos, you know, with fake bullets, darts, or whatever they call it, but they sounded exactly like the real shit. Through the powder and everything, you know. I remember when we went twice. The first time I went with Anthony Sano. There was nothing but Florencia. There was nothing but gangsters. And I said about 200-300 fuckers there. And all the neighborhoods of the Maravilla, Adler, Certeres, the Metro, MC4s, First Street, and Calle Ocho, B&E, and all that. It was all them against Vatos of Florencia. Because they were that deep, man. They were fucking deep. And they're the ones doing the play, and they're the ones, all the Vatos that used to come out on Tucaro. They're all on victory outreach. They were conducted from all the neighborhoods, but mostly Florencia. So, on top of they used to go deep. They were deep in the play, you know? And, I really had an awesome time. The first time I went out like nothing, it came out clean, everybody raised their hand, accepted Jesus Christ, and said we're gonna change. The next year when they did it again, everybody came in and like ready to rumble. I remember Vatos of Sereno, there was like about 100 of them, and they were from the project. I said there was like 50 of them, and there was like 300 of Florencia, and obviously I went with Sandra and Anthony, and I knew all the Vatos from Florencia, so I said, fuck. I was suddenly in the middle of the play, almost to the end, everybody started spreading out, and again, all the neighborhoods clicked up to fly Florencia, you know, but this time we did a rumble. I was like, who do I help? You know, if I go against Florencia, they're gonna beat the shit out of me when I'm around Sandra there. But if I don't back up the homeboy, I'm gonna look like Chavala. So I told Anthony, con permiso, homeboy, that's my side, you know? And Anthony goes, stay over here, man, stay over here. And I remember it came out, all the newscasters and everybody was like that's when we're doing the green lights to getting along and trying to peace treaties and all that. That's when the Mexican Mafia and everything became powerful. The movie America Me, La Familia, and all that. That's that time, everybody. So I remember I was like a little gallito, I was only 14, 15, you know? 16, the max, the second time, you know? And I remember I told him, con permiso, dispensa, I'm sorry. And I just started whacking people. And I remember I'm fighting against Florencia because of my gente, my familia, my culture, you know? Keep this in mind, they were my friends también, you know? And I said, I'm gonna get jumped by both sides. And I remember everybody was like screaming my name, Carrillo, you know? And everybody was like keeping an eye on me, and I was inside Florencia, and Vatos of Florencia didn't want to throw me down. But I was knocking people that I didn't know. And they're trying to calm me down, calm me everything, and all hell broke loose, man. Chingazos came out from everywhere, and after the fucking putazos for like about 5-10 minutes, everybody came out like fucking bleeding and stabbed. And, I remember the vatos from Ducaro had the cuetas. They were just like, like trying to calm down. The pastors from all over her that took their people. They're trying to calm everybody down. And vatos from Sereno and a couple people from the projects. And a lot of people from the Maravillas. They just like rumbled of Florencia, and it fucking broke, man. It broke. And I remember after the putazos, everybody ran. And like I said, came up with Anthony and Sandra. And I had to get it right back on my own. And Sandra, I remember Sandra was like, man, you gotta change, After that, Sandra and Anthony broke up, and I never hanged around with Anthony again, or Batos de Florencia, or anything, But that was like our breakup. After that, I knew where I belong. I belong with my gente. I belong with my peeps, And I still don't differentiate neighborhoods. I include all neighborhoods, but mi sangre is Hazard, my family's from Hazard, and I will never back down for any putazo, you know what I mean? Even though I'm not from the neighborhood, even though I don't associate myself a lot, but my familia's from there, and we all learn from JoJo that no matter what, we stick together, and we're always gonna be the same together, You can't be ranking out. You can't be just jumping into different neighborhoods. You gotta belong somewhere. Be truthful to yourself. Be honest. But that took a role really changed me, because after that, I learned that I had to have Jesus Christ in my heart. I still didn't learn, and I did end up going to when I was 18 to go clear my tickets in the county, and everybody knows about Steve and Bear's story with Tupac and all that, and another rumble right there. And after that, I got out. My familia got busted. Everybody from New Mexico to the projects, to Maravilla, to fucking Chicago, Arkansas, Texas, Mexico. All my familia was spread around, and my tias, my prima, everybody got busted, and I didn't want to be like that. I ended up getting stabbed, and I turned my life around, and I turned it to God, and I believe in God. Even though I still do this madre, and I still drink, and I still living out here, I reflect, and I understand that we all have to believe in just God. And God has a process, and God has a will. I knew it with this movie, and I knew it with this play, The Ducaro. That God calls us, God makes us reflect and understand, and we don't want to dead or in jail or being all stabbed and deformed and paralyzed and machines and stuff like that. We need to to wisen up everybody. Well, I knew it. This movie reflected on my Uncle Jojo and Uncle Miguel, Bird, and Jose Luis, and Pancho, and George, and Jaime, rest in peace, and all my familia in and out of jail all the time. So I made a promise to myself that I was going to break the chain. And I did. No one's ever gotten back to jail. No one's gone to La Pinta no more. No one's ever been a true gangster anymore. We all do this madre stuff, but nobody, we broke that chain. Killing and going to jail and all. Thank God, because of the peace treaties, the green lights, all the meetings and all the movies. But I think Ducaro was the beginning. And Ducaro, I was living mi corazón. And I hope that you're watching this, always remember that the Ducaro movie really make you have an understanding, and really make you reflect on yourself, and really make you believe that you need Jesus Christ. Without Him, you can't do nothing. If you haven't reached out to nobody or don't belong to a church, we have Toñita that she's from Freedom. She runs Freedom Church, and we have Pastor Lalo and Secretaries. And there's a lot of churches all over. And if you're Catholic, there's like Santa Teresita, there's City of Angels, and there's always a church next to you. And if you haven't gone through this, you don't need to go through this shit. If you never thought of going to the La Pinta to Camina Carnal, a Soldado, or being down, be crazy, don't start now. Reflect, change your mood, change your todo. I made a promise that I wrote La Cadena, you know, and from that day on, none of my family members, I kept them in line, everybody. Even though that we look like gangsters, we act like gangsters, we got tacos, you know, whatever. But we all believe in Jesus Christ, and we all accept Jesus Christ. It doesn't matter religion, doesn't nah. And watch the movie, The Duke of Earl. It's a fucking awesome. And I put it on my YouTube video, everybody. So watch it. Feel the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit, and do a change in your heart. And if you're a vato that wants to give up in life, think of watching this movie first. God might touch you. God might hear you. God might choose you, right? And don't be afraid to answer the call. When God calls you, He calls you. All right. This goes out to you, baby. And to you, Vanessa. One day you'll watch all my YouTube videos, and you'll understand how I grew up, how I think, and how I was at my age, you know. And anybody else, any nephews, cousins, grandsons, great grandsons, or whoever watches it, sons, or whatever watches it, reflect on it. And to Irene Luna, which is Manuel Luna's granddaughter, I miss you, girl, and I hope you're wherever you're at. And, however your life turned out, I wish you always the best. And if you ever hear my videos or whatever, you're part of them. You'll always be part of our lives. And to you, baby doll, thank you for walking into my life and changing my mentality and everything. Thank you for being there with me, and I hope I could always make you proud and make you feel special that I'm yours, and I'll always be yours, baby. If you question, I don't have to hide it. I know it, and I'm proud of being around you, baby. All right.